So you have the board shape like this, and you know, make it more interesting than this. Okay. And so first thing that you need to do is you have to rescale. So the scale needs to be the long edge to be 12 inches. So go to top view and type scale. And click on one side and click on the other side and type 12 inches. Layers, you need to have a form layer, and then you have to have X layer, you have to have Y layer, and you have to have a plane and intersection. Okay, so you have X, Y, plane, and intersection. Final Cut, we ended up not using it, so that's fine. So first, we need to activate by highlighting and activating is different. So make sure your check mark is on X layer. Draw a horizontal line like this, and type offset by 1 inch. So you can offset by 1 inch. And make sure your line will kind of land in the middle of the object. So, you get this intersection and you get this intersection. Okay? So activate Y layer, and on Y, you're going to have a vertical line. And offset, and offset. So offset all these lines. And again, you can move these line sets to kind of have it intersecting with all of the lines. Okay. So with X layer activated again, select all the lines and type project on the top view. And make sure delete input is yes, so you can project so that X is projected. And activate Y layer, select all the vertical lines, project to the Y layer. Okay. So now you have all of these objects that are, intersecting on X and Y, axis. So now we need to make these into plane. Okay. So select all of the lines and activate plane layer and planar surf. Planar surf. It's a command. Okay. Now we're gonna run the intersection command to get the middle line. But at this point, if you have X and Y layer turned on, it will try to intersect between all of these points, and that's going to create a lot of lines. So make sure you turn off X and Y layer. Of course, form layer is off. Okay, so all you are seeing is these planes. And activate intersection layer, and select all of them and intersect. And this should be done pretty soon. If it takes a lot of time, it means you're multiplying a lot of lines, so be careful with that. We don't need the plane layer anymore. So we have these intersection line, and we have X and Y. Okay? So turn off X, turn off Y, and we are only showing X and intersection layer. And go to your right view. Make sure they are in the right order, and we're going to start copying the first segment and second segment in the correct order. Third segment, fourth segment, fifth segment, sixth segment, and seventh segment. Okay. And so now we can turn off X layer and turn on Y layer and do the same thing again for front view, so to the right view. So copy from the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one. Okay, I'm not gonna do everything this time. Okay, so we now have on X layer is laid out in front view, and Y is laid out in right view. So now I need to go ahead and label them. So don't use the 3D text tool from here, but use the just type text and type X01. Okay, and make it smaller scale like that. And so you can copy all of these X texts to everywhere. And what you need to do then is to double click the text and change numbers. Okay, so you change numbers for everything. And do the same thing for Y. So Y01. Okay, and scale it. Okay. So copy it from these. And double click to change text. 2, 0, 3, da. So once you have done all the texts, what you need to do is go to front view, select all of the X's, and type make 2D. And what it's going to do is it's going to flatten everything into the top view. Okay, so for that's X. For the right view, select everything and make 2D. Okay, so we have X and Y. Now we need to create these notches. For X, it's going to be on the bottom side, and Y is going to be on the top side. So we are going to create one little box that is 1/16 wide and something long enough to cut through the objects. So copy these from the middle point of this little box to the middle point of the intersection lines. Oh, I missed it. Make sure it's perfectly on the middle point. Okay. And for Y, it's going to be copied from the bottom side, middle point. So Y notches on the Y is going to be on the top side of it. Okay. Okay. So once you have done everything, what you need to do is select all these lines, intersection lines. Right. And type trim and trim out these lines that are extending out, and do the same thing for Y. Okay, so trim and delete all the excess lines. Okay. Now what you need to do now is to create a cut layer. So cut, and in the spool laser cutter, black means the cut. So black is fine. And for laser cutting, what we need to do is to lay them out on the laser bed, which is 32 inches by 18 inches. Okay. So draw a box of 32 inch by 18 inch, and start laying them out. So we have this, and I'm gonna skip some steps. So you probably have something like this. In order to save your material, make sure you don't have too much of gap. Okay. So it's gonna be something like So now that you have all of them ready, what you need to do is select everything except for the dimension, and go to File, Export Selected, and export as Adobe Illustrator. And make sure the scale is correct. So preserve model scale. 1 inch equals 1 inch. Okay? And say OK. And so now you have selected this laser thing. So you can open this with Braille Draw, I think, and your file should be ready to go. Okay? Cool.